You might recognize this from the ice cubes. I did say I had other plans for this. One of those plans, or one of those things I want to try with this, is making bath bombs, but like healthy bath bombs, DIY bath bombs. I'm not sure if they're going to work with the ingredients that I want to put in there because you'll see. So I just want to use a little bit of product, so I'm only going to make like 1 or 2 of these because I don't know if this is going to work. The original recipe calls for cornstarch and citric acid, and I don't want to use either of those because the cornstarch is GMO and that was my cat, and the citric acid I've heard is actually mold, so to be safe I'm not going to use that, and instead I'm going to use cream of tartar. I'm also not sure how many parts per whatever are supposed to go in here, like how much of each ingredient, because I'm not doing the recipe like it's supposed to be done. 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's try that. Get out of there. I think I should probably melt this before putting it in. I have no idea if this is the right amount. I just looked it up and apparently this is way too much coconut oil, but I'm gonna see what happens when I start putting it in anyways. So normally you put citric acid, which is supposed to mix with the baking soda when you add water and do the fizz. And since I'm not using citric acid, the cream of tartar is supposed to do that instead. But I've heard it doesn't work as well. Feels very coconut oily. It feels like snow. It feels like warm snow. It feels like how you wish snow felt, like the cool texture without it being freezing. Now we put this in the fridge and let the coconut oil get hard. And in a few hours / tomorrow, we're gonna see what it does. Good morning. Let's test out those bath bombs. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. I think if I maybe packed them down harder, it would have been a little bit better. That's my theory. This is the one we're going to test. It's the small one. Bowl of water. Let's see if it fizzes. Nothing. If we, no, it's not even falling apart. This may be a fail, guys. I think probably the biggest thing I did wrong was putting too much coconut oil, because I think when you just put a little bit and it goes into the mold crumbly, like still kind of looking dry, that's kind of the point, because when you throw it in the water you want it to fall apart easily. That's my theory. Hello, it's not the same day. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make chocolates with the same mold. We're gonna make little snowflake chocolates, and then I'm going to try a different formula for the bath bombs with less coconut oil and see how that turns out. taking some coconut oil from my lifetime. Oh, that was way too loud. Taking some coconut oil from my lifetime supply. Again, I have absolutely no idea how much I'm gonna need. I should probably look this up. I'm gonna try to make chocolate with 3 ingredients. Well, 4 technically. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Coconut oil, cocoa, and maple syrup for sweetener. The 4th ingredient is a garnish of salt, which I'm not sure how this is gonna work out. Cocoa. Coconut oil. Syrup, because we talked about this. What did I say? I said I'm a Canadian. This is all we ever use. I may have put too much. I probably put too much. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. My warning to you guys is take this seriously. If you try to do it, you take it seriously. I think I'm gonna put, oh, you know what? I think the coconut oil is hardening, which is a good sign. Tells me that this might actually be a good solid chocolate when it's done. But I'm gonna try heating it up a little bit. So I put the mix on the double boiler to try to soften it up again. I guess make sure your ingredients are at the very least at room temperature before you put them in. I'm pretty sure the maple syrup was super cold, fresh out of the fridge. I can see how this makes more sense to do on the double boiler. I know I said that I was going to do salt for garnish, but then I realized I should put some salt in there. Gonna put the rest of the coconut oil. And I'm putting more cocoa because I feel like if I put more cocoa, it'll be more of a solid chocolate. I'm gonna put some more coconut oil because this just seems a little hard. As you can see, the added coconut oil did not work. It did not make it more liquidy, which may play in our favor. I really don't know. But what I am going to do is add more maple syrup because I tasted it. And it was okay. It was not great, but it was okay. And since it's so dry, I figured we could use the extra liquid. Now before it cools off, I'm going to shove it in there. But before I shove it in there, again, I don't know if this is going to work because my thought process was I would put this in and it would end up on the top of the chocolate, but I also feel like it might just dissolve. So we're going to find out what happens. It's good. If it was liquidy, like when you melt chocolate, then it would pour in nicely and become perfectly smooth chocolate. This is likely not going to turn out like that. I'm scared to see the results of this one. Now I'm going to put this in the fridge. I just put it in the fridge. I'm going to wait maybe an hour. Considering how fast it started to solidify while I was making it, I don't think it's going to take very long. So I feel like an hour is plenty. Then we're going to see what happened.
A few moments later.
I know I said I was going to wait an hour. It's only been about a half an hour, but I'm pretty sure it's been long enough. I also poked at them a little bit and they feel pretty solid. So we're gonna take a chance and we're gonna take them out now. I don't wanna push on them to pop them out. Like, I don't wanna crush them. Oh, not bad, but I mean, so the salt didn't look how I thought it would look, like, you know, individual salt crystals, but this is actually really kind of cool. I like this. I would suggest maybe wait a little bit longer than I did, because like this doesn't, it still feels kind of warm. Like I would maybe even put them in the freezer or something for a bit, because it's probably better to take them out when they're like cold. But just in case, to like not see like imperfections like that, just to avoid it. I don't know if that's even possible, because I don't think this is actually from taking it out. I think it's actually from not packing the chocolate in properly. But I think they look really cool. Let's see how they taste. Quite salty, so maybe, I mean, I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it like this, but it's very salty. So if you like something that's really salty, this is it. But if you don't, maybe go a little bit lighter on the salt, but it's good. But it tastes kind of like coconut fudge. Like a salty coconut fudge. It's good though. I don't think it's going to solidify in the way that I expected it to. I think it's gonna kind of be like this, like hard but soft at the same time. But it's still really good. I originally thought about putting like powdered sugar, like white powdered sugar, instead of salt, and a variety of other things like sprinkles and stuff like that, but I'm trying to not consume garbage and to not promote the consumption of garbage. So that's why I went with the salt. And I think it tasted better with the salt. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Now I'm going to try again for the bath bombs with a different formula. I'm going to use much less coconut oil, even though I don't think that was actually the problem, because I feel like if the coconut oil was the problem, then the bath bombs would probably be softer, and they're not. They feel like they're hard as a rock. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put salt, and I'm way too lazy to go upstairs and get the Epsom salt right now. So I'm just going to use the salt that is on the counter, which is not Epsom salt. Let's see what happens. Baking soda. I don't want to make as many as I did last time, because this is really just an experiment, so let's start with 2. I feel like this is key. Look, it's fizzing. You see it's fizzing? So that was like, see this? So that was water, because I read in the recipe that they put a touch of water in there, which I'm like, isn't that gonna make it fizz? And guess what? It makes it fizz. But at least it fizzes, so we know that. So even if I messed up, at least we know this is a thing. So it's starting to like clump together, as if it's kind of wet, but it's also still crumbly and dry, which I think is exactly how it's supposed to be. Last time I had half as many of these, so I'm assuming either it's because of the salt or because it's drier, so there's more air, or both, whatever, because I'm shook as to how I have more of these this time with Less baking soda and less cream of tartar and less coconut oil. Maybe I gotta pack them in real hard. Now I'm gonna put them in the fridge and we'll be back. All right, let's test out those bath bombs. I'm actually really excited about this. Well, they're already really crumbly, so I don't know about this. Yeah, I can like barely even take them out. Oh, this did not work, but let's at least see if they fizz. Do something. That did not go well.